Hello, my name is Amanda Dunas, and I'm from the Positive Thinking Clinic. And I've decided just to jump online today to make this recording, just so that I can put it out there that sometimes two parties find themselves in constant conflict. And the best avenue at times happens to be when you go into a therapeutically safe space, whether it's a counsellor's office, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, whatever it is, just so that they can sort out between themselves what kind of rules, what to do, what to not do, so they can avoid the conflict. Quite often, everybody has their own common sense and they know what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. Unfortunately, people don't always take those logical rules and abide by them in times of conflict. And so one of the programs that I do offer at the Positive Thinking Clinic is conflict resolution program. It takes about 2 hours. It's structured and at the same time individualized for each couple. In the program, the individuals get the opportunity to open up to what we call fair rules of conflict, so that they can both walk away feeling content and fair, rather than you've sorted out this rule and you want me to abide by that rule and I don't feel comfortable with it. So what we establish while we're here is fairness and create them into rules. They serve as a benchmark to set standards for calm, to set standards for listening, and also to contain discussions which sometimes turn into arguments. What we do during the program is we look at replacing old habits that are not useful. It's funny that some people just continue doing the same thing even while it's not working. At which point do we then pull ourselves aside and realize that this is not working and this is contributing to distress, and so it needs to change. Hence, a program like this becomes really useful. So replacing old habits with successfully processing through the conflict in a safe and a respectful manner by having brand new strategies and rules in place. And they are discussed in clinic. Setting ground rules of what each couple will permit and allow helps them to create new foundations for their relationship and to minimize, reduce, eliminate conflict as much as possible. This program will help each person through their own behaviours and therefore through their own emotions, as opposed to allowing them to venture freely into avenues of pain and hurt. So they contain themselves with practice. Practice is always accompanied by some rules, so that at least you have a plan in place and you could say, okay, I'm feeling like this or I'm behaving like this. What is it that I need to do at this point? And that's why when you leave Positive Thinking Clinic with your own individualized conflict resolution planning from the program that we do, you have tools or skills that you take away. Individuals will create a plan, they will engage, they will move through their sequence of conflict. So we do some role play as well, and we bring up scenarios, and we are also respectful and listen very well. And it's not a time for bringing conflict into the therapy space. It's actually a time for removing ourselves from that drama cycle and becoming observers, so that we can best be as less biased as possible, so that we can use more of an to reduce our emotional brain and use more of a logical reasoning basis, so that we can create an appropriate plan and program for each couple. Positive communication, frustrations and triggers, they are explored as we role play. Quite often things are discovered in here as we do the role play. Some individuals think they know everything about themselves and about their partner. And it's quite interesting that when there is a commitment to come into a safe space like this, to be open and honest, they then walk out realizing that I didn't know this about myself, and I didn't know this about the person I'm in conflict with either. So it's a nice way to discover and recognize also what's been underlying and what's going on. It's important to look at anger and also to have a management plan in place. Anxiety is considered as well as avoidance behaviours. So we do focus on communications, especially being assertive and trying to move away from the space of being passive, where it's not serving, and aggressive, where that also doesn't serve as well. While the program is about conflict between two parties, it's definitely each individual person's responsibility to apply, recognize, discover, and assess their own judgments towards themselves as well as towards the other person and other parties that may be involved, even if they're involved in a distance, for example, family and colleagues, etc. So we have opportunity to create solutions for personal behaviours and for that of other parties involved in conflict. And lastly, the most important part of the program, and you'll understand whilst you're participating in the program why it's left till last, is forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't the wisest choice at the beginning of a program, because we need to do work to let go, to create, to recreate, to let be. So then we become ready for that component of forgiveness. We're much more accepting of it. It's not just forgiving others, it's forgiving ourselves as well. A lot of light learning occurs, but also a lot of small tweaks within each person and in each person's communication style, perceptions, and in their personal space as well of their actual relationship. This doesn't replace, and I must emphasize this, a much needed session in couples therapy. In fact, it is emphasized that couples or relationships, people in conflict, do engage in, let's call it more intense therapy, or maybe it's not more intense, but what I'm trying to say is this program, it's a short 2-hour program. It should supplement therapy. Now, some people who come for therapy for relationships or for family or for couples, that is because they are there for common goals or there to create common goals. Yes, this particular program is one snippet. So there may be more work that needs to be done outside of this program. This program is specifically for conflict resolution. So my advice is be sure to still seek therapy from a counsellor, psychotherapist, psychologist, or whatever other professional that you find suitable for your needs as well. So I emphasize it doesn't replace therapy. This is a supplementary program and a very, very useful one, I may add. So this program is for those who want to participate strictly and solely in conflict resolution. If you wanted more information, you can get in touch with me on 0458 850 850, or you can email me on amanda@positivethinkingclinic.com.au. The whole conflict resolution program goes for 2 hours. It can happen online and it can happen also in clinic. Thank you.